Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teachers Do. Today I have with me Joseph.
Welcome back.
And today we're going over an interesting Elseworld. JLA created equal. Basically the story is a virus, think of it like Y the Last Man, but in the DC universe, and Superman and Lex are the only two that survive. Basically a virus wipes out all of man, all of the mankind, leaving only the women around.
Is this going to get
world without men. What?
Is this going to get gay?
No.
Is it going to be one of those stories? This isn't like a Brokeback Mountain thing.
No.
All right, proceed.
In a world without men, the unborn child of a Superman is humanity's last hope. So yeah, it was great artwork, but I love Kevin McGuire's artwork. Very expressionful, full of expression. So we open up like, wake up in the morning, content to the ignorance that we are nothing compared to everything that is. You get ready for the day, never thinking it might be your last. Maniac ratings works better than comic stylings any day. Besides, the coffee comes free. Later, Maria. Whoops, excuse me. Rainer, I saw you for you 4R and mad at me because I turned you down for a date, Kyle Raider. Or what if you ask, hey, where'd you go, Kyle? So basically we see Kyle heading on out there. Basically we're just seeing a typical day in the life. All the men are doing their stuff. When all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, this gas comes in. Nathan, turn it down. Nathan, turn it down. Sorry, guys, I'm at my parents' house, so I'm dealing with my brothers. Nathan.
Down. No harm done.
I know. The storm passes, and you are confident the day will pass as well. Today and tomorrow, because it's always been that way. All of them died from this weird disease. Cal, there are more important matters we must attend to. So Bruce, John, Kyle, everyone. There's much more we must attend to. I know. I mean no disrespect to them. They were my friends, but I know. You're exhausted. When was the last time you slept? What about you? 1 week to the day since the storm. Have you given any thoughts well, you are the last man left on Earth. No, not yet, Diana. There's still so much to do. I understand. When you're prepared to discuss it, I have some thoughts on the matter. We have to go. They're waiting for us. On the Justice League satellite, he thinks, look, nothing looks different, but everything has changed. It's the first respite they've had since the fallout from the storms ravaged the planet's male population. Their time has been spent on crisis management, securing power facilities, weapon depots, air and sea traffic control, psychological counseling, setting up working governments, endless burial detail. They're all tired. Dozens of the world's female metahumans. But they all share the same thought. None of them have the burden to bear that he does. Thank you for coming. I know how difficult these last few weeks have been for all of you. Yep, all the ladies. We called down for the league, but you all came. Yeah, I know. Called down a more manageable final roster for the league, but one request: you all remain available as needed. I think the hardest part, believing it or not, is just beginning. Damage control has always been our specialty. What will be expected of us now is different. We've all suffered tremendous losses, but the human spirit will carry on. And I believe everyone in this room will prove to be crucial to Earth's survival. Nathan, down. Please. How can things ever be the same again? They can't. New rules are in place. Whose rule? Shouldn't that be for the majority to decide? But whose majority? Maybe decisions should be made on a global scale rather than a decision based on national concerns. Huntman once told me that's how they do things on Sanagar. Jen has a point. Where is Shiera? Leaving the Hawk ship and doesn't look like it's been prepped for fight. You said your situation is stable. With Hawkman dead, there's no need for her to remain. Shiera, in here. Shai, I know this tragedy leaves you the more isolated than the others, but this was never really my home, Diana. Just an assignment. But that's not how your husband felt, is it? Hawkman adopted Earth, and in turn, was adopted by the planet. We need your perspective now more than ever. I understand that, Diana, but as I know what Earth meant to my husband, but it is in his name, his memory, that I now wear the Sanagarian coat of mourning, honoring a warrior slain in battle. I pledge my allegiance to Terra forevermore. That's the coat of mourning. Really?
Can you imagine seeing that?
Good luck at the United Nations, Di. I know. Kareb gel, break a leg. It's a speech, Satana, not a performance. Didn't know there was a difference. Bye. She's being flip, but she makes a valid point, Diana. Cal, I'm not comfortable with the weight of expectations. Really? I'm surprised. I mean, you were assigned to bring peace to man's world by your Amazon decree. Well, here's your chance, and there are no men left to disagree. Now who's being flipped? This is not what my sisters envisioned when they sent me to create global harmony, you know. I know, I apologize. Maybe I was a bit cynical. I'm tired. But you can still seize the opportunity, as horrific as it's been, help recreate human civilization and maybe make it a better world. Growing buzz around the UN about the role Wonder Woman and the planet's metahumans will play. Questions remain about how Superman will fit into all. Diana thinks since its founding, United Nations has been a contradiction, symbolizing everything the world aspired to, but actualizing all of it feared. Xenophobia, nationalism, secularism, intolerance, all running roughshod under a roof meant to shelter everyone. If they wanted something different, better, and wouldn't they have fought for it? And she knows what she really means. They equals men. As acting chairwoman of the United Nations delegation, we thank the Justice League for all they've done in these harrowing times. Thank you. I pray Athena guides us in doing what is best for the welfare of humanity. Chairwoman, mankind, and Jesse Quick, new rules are in place. Alone, facing the world, she clears her throat, and she knows, she knew it all along, that Superman is right, and the responsibility is hers. When a fire ravages a forest, the devastation can appear overwhelming. But from the charred ashes of what was, new life begins to grow almost immediately. That is nature's way. We cannot undo the tragic events that have befallen us. The enormity of our loss is so staggering as to defy comprehension. Perhaps an understanding and acceptance will come only through the perspective of time. And we live in the here and now. We must decide in unison. Not as Americans or Russians, Chinese or Africans, not as Catholics or Jews, Protestants or Buddhists, not even as women, for without men, we need no such distinction. We must decide as the human race if we plan to survive and then thrive. The metahumans of the world will continue to address social concerns as never before. In that, we are unified and resolute. The Justice League will serve as the focal point for all organized metahuman endeavors. Our core roster will consist of the Flash, Supergirl, Zatanna, Power Girl, Dr. Light, Woo, Black Canary, and Hawk. Instead of being Hawk Girl, she's just Hawk now. It is not for us to govern you, but rather to help guide you in the decisions that need to be made. And those decisions must involve honest reevaluation of the most basic tenets of our social structure. Hard though it must be given to the borders we have drawn on maps and the walls of race, creed, and religion we have built, which have only served to keep us apart for far too long. We must address the matter of the continuance of the human race and consider a plan to ensure the future generations of living beings will walk this earth. That's Lex keeping an eye on things, no matter the form they take. And in closing, Princess Diana announced all Justice League efforts would be coordinated by Oracle and pledged their response to any who foment disorder in these trying times would be swift and absolute. Lois Lane knows it too, flowery for her, and it's too flowery for her. But everyone, even cynical journalists, are trying to stay upbeat, which is hard to do in the following days, considering the onslaught of would-be conquerors. Priority 1 situation in Argentina. All available operatives report there immediately, such as the alien Starro. Oracle's dispatch reinforcements. Diana wasn't one of the league's first cases. It wasn't one of the league's first cases against this thing. Yes, cool symmetry. The rampage of chemo in Markovia was handled by Terra and other European metahumans today. Apprehended last night in Gotham City by Ain't switching sides, Catwoman, or just protecting your own interests? Or our exhausted little huntress could say, thanks for the help. The former self-described militant comedian Maria Contriente, who appropriated Green Lantern's ring. That's the Maria we saw at the beginning. Continue to frustrate the Justice League today, escaping another confrontation but not all in their time and energy was spent on dousing metahuman brush fires, helping the crew of a cargo ship stranded during training sessions. Much needed food and medical supplies to earthquake-ravaged China were delivered by the Flash today, though the League's relentless effort has not gone unappreciated by everyone. Liberal claptrap socialism is what it is. Stop thinking like a caveman, Elizabeth. Days turn into weeks. Exhaustion begins to take its toll. Oh, for crying out loud, Diana, I can't spare an additional unit. Are you honestly having trouble taking on Titano? Oh, oof. Oracle, you're more than welcome to switch places if you prefer and miss out on watching a monkey beat up Superman. No thanks. Here comes your backup. You're off the hook. Phew. You are exhausted. Take a rest, Cal. How long has it been since you've been home? You need more time to grieve, Clark. I know, Ma. I don't have the time right now. How about Lois? How's she been? I haven't seen her in 3 weeks. Make the time for yourself and those who love you, Clark. And soon, because if you keep bottling it up inside, you'll stand to lose a lot more than you already have lost. Aww. Metropolis. Clark? Oh, man, he's just letting it out. What? He's been bottling it up.
It looks funny. We're at keys.
Yep, and I guess I'll see you in another 3 weeks. That's not fair, Lois. I know, Clark. I'm sorry, but we really need to talk. Not yet. About our part in the future of the human race. None of it means putting you in danger, emotionally or physically. I appreciate your concern. No one knows how the radiation might affect our child, but it's a decision both of us ought to make. Hopefully, neither of us will have to make that choice. There's an experiment planned in Tokyo today to see if the cause of the fall can be identified and cured. They call it the fall, is what they call it. Dr. Light, Kimio Hoshi, supervised a battery of tests using advanced Terran, Sanagarian, Martian, and Scion sensor equipment, all of which turn up nothing. We know the cloud had a radiation bandwidth that only affected males, both alien and human, though not Kryptonian. So why can't we pinpoint the exact cause? And more important, will it affect human Kryptonian hybrids? As frustrating as it is for me to admit, without more data, the solution lies beyond the scope of science. Days later, from chaos, a call to order. The realm of the dead is sated. The living must balance the scales. Appear before me. Those who have fed too much. Our power has grown, and your power has grown much since we last communed, Zatanna. To so easily summon a gathering of Spectre, Neuron, and Circe is rather impressive. Yeah, Fishnet's a real heavyweight now, but what's a poor old dead man got to do with this show? You served the ground a higher calling to a humanity long lost to them, Boston Brand. The plague that has befallen mankind cannot be solved by the natural laws limiting the human mind. I beseech thee to address whether the solution might be divine through the unbound ways. Her answer was a curt and as their manner. No, she wouldn't give up hope. The answer would come. Somehow, she left it to fate. 2 weeks later, we're running out of options. Not yet. The League's trying a variety of other non-traditional avenues. There's also been discussion of cloning program. Cloning, that would only perpetuate a species of female. It's a stopgap, at least until a cure can be found, or the radiation in the atmosphere dissipates, which might take centuries for all we know. I understand you're worried about my health and what it could mean if we couldn't have a child, Clark, or if I miscarried, but this is about more than that, isn't it? Lois, there are so many stumbling blocks. Besides, the burden it would mean for me. You think if we had a child, it would be a burden? No, it would be a blessing. Oh, geez, look at Lois. She's definitely upset. It'd be a blessing. But then, what about every other woman on the planet who would deserve the same? Well, Step didn't go and find their own husbands. My point exactly.
What is he?
I know. It took a week to contact the Swamp Thing. 2 more to prepare Poison Ivy for a journey into the green. She spent 6 days lost in an infinite sea of life. She found no answers, and the trip itself was enough to ravage her fragile mind. She knew the risks, but still, our options are dwindling, Cal. I know. And the remaining pregnancies, most of will come to term within the next 8 weeks. I know. If a normal human can't accommodate a Kryptonian birth, there will be metahuman options. I know. 5 weeks pass, and she's pregnant. Should I say? No, it's okay. You have a job to do. But I gotta go back to that look on her.
That's where the moment she said it's not yours.
Nothing to worry about. How? That's not possible. Who else could you have banged?
Doesn't matter. Just anyone but him.
I'm guessing you're being ironic asking me to meet you here. Actually, I'm guessing it's an appropriate location. Oh, well, if you're going to tell me what I think you are, yes. The test came back positive today. Lois is, and I thought you should be the first to know. Congratulations, Cal. Cal, we'll proceed as we planned. Can we skip the teleporters? I prefer a lazy flight so we can talk. Certainly, we can always talk. She was hoping if Lois couldn't do it, she could do it.
Am I the only one that knows that Diane and Clark look remarkably similar?
It's the art style. Do you think they're ready for this? It has been discussed, but if they are not prepared, it is no one's fault but their own. Queen and Hippole of Themyscira, your daughter petitions for an audience for Kal-El, last son of Krypton. Your petition is granted, Princess Diana. Welcome home. And formality aside, both my sympathies, Kal-El, for what has befallen man's world, and my congratulations to the news you no doubt bear this day. Thank you. Since Cal's wife is child, time is short. We must move forward. Be patient, daughter. The traditions of many millennia cannot be rushed. Time is required to make the necessary preparation. Fine. In the meantime, I shall inform man's world of the impending upheaval. And now that he's been informed, I'll let the women know. Okay, that's funny. That is funny. I shall inform man's world of the impending uneveling. And now that he's been informed, I'll let the women know. Cute joke. Somewhere above over Siberia, 114 days after the fall. How accurate is the information, Dr. Holdring? The data was copied directly from the personal files of Dr. Hoshi. We ran 3 redundancy analysis. The findings are correct. The fetus is viable, having nearly completed its first trimester. It is a male child, and genetic scans clearly showing Kryptonian hybrid DNA. And most important of all, there are no traces of the fall radiation detected thus far. Isn't that great news, Mr. Luthor? Lex Luthor says nothing. 16 weeks spent in an armored shell, breathing filtered air, unable to touch, to feel. 16 weeks spent in isolation for a world that no longer ran by his rules. 16 weeks and not one step closer to finding a cure for the lingering radiation that keeps him confined. And then to find out the first son of a child and the first son of a new Earth will be his child. Let me see that. So yeah, he's stuck in there. But sir, that means the race can live on, albeit through artificial. Dr. Holdren, that would not be a perpetuant of the human race. It will not come to pass. Not in his image. 130 days after the fall, he has traced the source of the storm that did this. He has tracked where it went after passing Earth's system. With an open tap on Hoshi's research, he knows he is closer to understanding the fall than anyone else on the planet, but he won't share his information. He won't even tell them he's alive, not until he has ensured a way to repopulate the species, the proper way. In his image. Chink. Drone 7 patch and seal. 18 weeks in an armored shell. So I think that was, something just fell down in an armored shell. Lane, reporting from the waters of the Mid-Atlantic in this monumentous day. He knows what they plan, knows it is one more nail in the coffin of human civilization. Barely listening, he steals a glimpse of Lois Lane. Why, Lois, have you put on a little weight? As the leaders and world leaders have gathered for an unprecedented event, as the Justice League provides security for the unveiling, Wonder Woman will preside over the ceremony. Pretty major upheaval in the order of things. Hope you're not saying that like it's a bad thing, Z. Not at all, Dinah. Just wondering how this would never have happened before the fall. Well, I don't see any men around complaining. Lower your voices. Diana's about to begin. Leaders of the United Nations, citizens of the world, thank you for coming, for watching, for being a part of the first day of a new world order. The independent countries of the world have decided that the old ways are no longer our ways. The only means of recuperating from the tragic surgery performed on Mother Earth is for us to stop thinking of ourselves as us and them. Stop worrying about boundaries that divide us and accept the gifts of humanity that unite us. One unified civilization working together towards a common purpose. One unified governing body that will reside here. I am proud to unveil the new democratically chosen capital of the earth, Themyscira, Paradise Island. For the first time in millennia, the fortress stronghold of Greek myth is visible to the naked eye. The Amazons lined up in a ceremonial procession awkwardly wave to the cameras. The thunder and lightning, the appearances of the island, all serve as a final acknowledgement that nothing will ever be the same again. Wow. No cynical comic, Jesse? No feminist propaganda? Just wow. And which about covers it. And if this restores a sense of balance, why do I feel the scales tipping towards chaos? Queen Hippolyte will now finally cede control of the Fable Island to the elected leader of the United Nations General Council, to honor to rejoin the embrace of Mother Earth, and just splendid. Dr. Holdridge, are you working or wasting my time? We took a breath to watch, Mr. Luthor, but we've made tremendous strides in isolating the banners under which every minute you don't work is one more minute I'm trapped in this infernal shell. Send me an update. Sir, we feel we'd make more progress if we pulled our data with my money, my data, my decision. Share nothing. That arrogant, selfish, short-sighted man! The Justice League satellite. Your source of this information is correct, Kim. My sources are is dependable, but why was she so secretive about imparting it? Why hoard such knowledge? LexCorp company rules. I honestly don't know. A mystery we should address. The astronavigational program has finished crunching the data. Based on these findings, we can determine where the storm should be right now. Here, and where it has been. It passed through hundreds of populated systems. Thousands, actually. How many races have suffered as badly as Earth did? Tactless as it sounds, the more and the better, since it increases the possibility of discovering useful data. Better? And Shine is speaking clinically, Cal. The storm was a force of nature. I can take the Hawk ship to chase down the storm, but something faster is needed to trace its path back way.
And you see, look at that shot right there. One back. See what I mean?
I will agree on that one. It's the way it's drawn with her eyes closed and all that, and the facial structure.
He looks like he farted.
Okay. Since Superman can't leave Lovis at this time, I have an idea. This is the life. Why bother busting heads with the Justice League when it's much easier to hang in an emerald paradise? Maria Contranetti? Oh, crap. We need your help. But we wouldn't mind too terribly if you said no first. No, first. The Green Lantern ring was found by Commandine, and who saw his power entitled her to all the riches life had previously denied her. It's not bad enough I've had a cat fight with you mokes twice already, but that you ruined my scams to score big cash, and even that you're getting rid of money altogether, which by the way makes it kind of tough for us supervillains wannabes just from a motivational standpoint. You now have the nerve to come into my house without an invite and ask for my help? You're a selfish, spoiled child, Contranetti, and the human race needs you to rise above your petty insecurities and anger. You're talking to the hand, princess. In fact, why don't I let my boy toy dancers entertain you? Ouch! You know, these guys used to be some kind of fun. It's much as as much as an admirer of the male form as the next alien, but in light of current events, don't you feel that this entire exercise is kind of pathetic? What? Said the alien centerfold pinup girl. You know how hard it was for the rest of us to try and look up on your fashion photos? This is payback to all the men who made me kiss their feet for the chance to try and claw my way up the ladder. Look at it this way, Maria. If you help us, there might actually be a future generation of men for you to hate. What's that spell backwards? Beats the heck out of me. Zatanna continues to enhance her skills, Maria Contranetti, as have you. But in some cases, the old ways are still best. Now let us talk of how you'll journey to space and trade the source of the fall for us. No how, no way. You want this ring? You have to kill me to get it. Oh, it wouldn't come to that. And it wouldn't come to that. We're only taking one finger. And they give the ring to Barbara. Which makes sense, actually. That would allow her to walk.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought I'd walk again, much less go out there. A few weeks of training and you should be ready. 1 month later. The president will see you now, Princess. Diana, Madam President, you look well. I appreciate your time. I realize that with the realignment of the world's governing structure, my office is more ceremonial now. You do not underestimate your importance, Madam President. Take it from someone who understands the importance and frustration of ceremonial positions. Mm-hmm. How goes the analysis of the fall? Green Lantern and Hawk left Earth 6 days ago. It'll be months before we hear back from them. Progress on understanding the biological effects of the fall goes more slowly. We now understand how it took so many lives, but not why it took only males. What about patient 0? Our mysterious pregnancy? I apologize for our continued secrecy, but we felt it necessary. I know! Some of Kevin McGuire's faces look wonky.
These shots are funny.
Like, in order to prevent a public clamor or a dashing of hopes, should the pregnancy not come to term, as well as to respect the privacy of Superman and his wife. Seems silly, Clark. You're the last man on Earth, and you still can't step foot on Themyscira. Until they're prepared to change their tradition, Lois, I'll respect them. Can we stop for a second? Sure. Feel like a truck walking on sand doesn't help either. You look beautiful. That healthy glow. It's a cliche. It's true. Floating in the water would be relaxing. But we didn't bring bathing suits. No, we didn't. Whoop!
I was hoping the baby would just kick him.
Oh, come on. 1 year after the fall, we welcome you to Themyscira on the solemn anniversary. On this day, Nathan, go. On this day, we look back in sadness to honor those taken from us, but we should also look forward with newfound hope for the future. Wait, you sure you're ready for the public announcement? We'd have to do it eventually anyway. This seemed like the appropriate day. Dr. Light sensed it first. A minute refraction of the sun's light miles away. Too small to be a helicopter or a plane, but just right for a human size. Male. No. This is not the way of the future. Whispers turn to shouts. Cameras turn to world's watches. Shump! He actually stands on a man stands on Themyscira. My queen, he dared to. Now, Philippus, wait. Apologies for my overly dramatic entrance, but my year in hiding, searching for a cure to the fall, has dulled my social graces. I come before you now because my findings must be revealed to the world. The radiation left behind in Earth's atmosphere will prevent any normal human male birth for approximately 15 years. The son of Superman is viable regardless of the planetary fallout due to its hybrid Kryptonian human biology. Yet tragically, the child will still die within days of being born. And it's all Superman's fault. What? It can't be. The evidence is here, Dr. Light. Examine it at your leisure. The very nature of the Kryptonian's physiology, his ability to absorb the solar radiation that powers him, also makes him a carrier of the fall. A typhoid Mary, if you will, whose cells are absorbing the atmospheric traces of the fall. And
hey, do you understand the story of Typhoid Mary?
No, I don't. What is it?
Well, she was getting the disease from her ass.
Oh, jeez.
Basically, well, yeah, whatever she could find in there, she would put it in people's food. And that's how she killed.
Wow. And magnifying them to a point at which he will not only cause his own son's death, but that of all women as well. This can't be. We didn't get this far. He's stated the results. He's telling the truth. Like, no, he's a liar. He's always been a Lois, please. Cal posed a threat to the baby. Kimio, you can't. I don't. This is just another of his schemes. Lex hates Superman. He can't stand the fact that a new race of males won't be born in his twisted image. Miss Lane is right, except for the undeniable truth of my finding. Cal, Diana, Luthor, if you're lying, but if I'm not, then the very presence is slowly killing your son and wife. Clark, no! Weeks have passed since Lex Luthor's return. No signs of Superman. Luthor's findings have been confirmed again and again. Exclusive interview. I truly wish I weren't right. As it stands, a normal human civilization will miss at least a generation. Assuming, of course, I'll still be fit enough to assume the responsibility, which I'm confident I will be. Have you given thought to what I asked? It's been taken care of, Diana. How's Lois? As well as can be expected. The baby is due any day now. I'm sorry that you cannot be there, even for a moment. Sorry still that you must leave at all. The longer I stay, the longer it'll take the radiation in my body to dissipate. I give this to Lois and to my son. Tell them, well, I guess it'll speak for itself. So yeah, he's flying off, giving hugs to everyone. Ah, that face. Okay, that's better.
These are horrible faces.
2 days later, congratulations, Lois. It's a healthy boy. Well, of course they're wearing the mask. They don't know. Well, that was certainly something I never expected to see on Themyscira. Wonderful, was it? A new start for a new world. Did Kal-El leave behind the gift of hope? He did. If Andy and Kent shows no symptoms in the fall for 1 year, we have Cal's permission to begin repopulating the world.
How does the one guy crying this whole thing? How is he the one guy leaving behind the gift of hope?
Well, he was crying because of all the pressure and everything.
I don't care. It's funny. I'm surprised they're not laughing at Lex when he landed. He looks like a nerd. It's not even remotely imposing anything.
Look, Kevin McGuire is an amazing artist, and he's known for his different facial expressions, not just doing the stilted type. He goes out of his way to make them all look unique.
He looks like one of those little machines at broken down restaurants to give out crappy prices.
Really? You're just going to dump on everything, aren't you?
It looks funny.
But yeah, turns out Adam Kent, he's 5 years old and he's throwing a temper tantrum. Why? Well, he accidentally killed Lois by giving her a hug.
Christ.
Yep, he is the child of Superman and Lois Lane. His father. Now, basically, by this point, everyone has had a child from Superman's DNA, whatever he left. So there's a whole bunch of other children.
Oh.
His father was once Earth's greatest hero, who was found to be a carrier of the cosmic plague that decimated mankind. He left Earth 5 years ago, weeks before Adam's birth, to search for the star for a cure to his disease. He's been raised by his mother on Amazon Island, along with all the others. But yeah, like, is this the equivalent of a temper tantrum? If so, it's a deadly one, Kara. We must try to calm the boy. Send flanking units to scour the debris for casualties. Adam's initial outburst destroyed an entire housing complex. Adam, his auntie died. You have to. I didn't mean to do it. I know you didn't, Adam. We all do. It's not your fault. We didn't expect this to happen so soon. Breathe, child. Slowly, child. Calm yourself. This is bad. Leveled. I'm just glad my daughter wasn't in this unit. And let's find Mommy, Adam. She won't be mad either. No, Mommy, I didn't mean to do it. There. Sharon knows, and she comes from Santa Gara. They're fighting. What happened, Adam? I'm sorry. I am. Adam, where is your mommy? I just hugged her. All I did was hug her. I'm so sorry. I hugged Mommy and she stopped moving. I'm sorry.
That's an ugly
Right.
child.
Stretches everything we've accomplished. Barely able to control one of them. What about the Kryptonian hybrids born to metahuman? We've given the power of Superman to Tyler, snapped her spine by hugging her. Please, everyone in the General Council, please, enough. This was a tragedy. Unfortunate, of course, but still an accident. It's a situation we will be able to control. How? As we always learn self-control through regimented training and unwavering discipline. General Philbus keeps talking. Wonder Woman hears their growing murmur of consent. And with a general agreement born of fear, decisions are made quickly. Resolutions pass. The children will be placed under constant military, scientific, and educational supervision. They will be monitored. A euphemism for imprisonment. What other choice do they have? Having felt the unbridled fury of one small Kryptonian hybrid child, Diana doubts they could survive an onslaught from hundreds of them.
A bunch of bare-ass Superman babies. That's funny.
And night, Themyscira sends us with a well-fed feeling that important and wise decisions were being made this day. Wonder Woman isn't so sure. By this time tomorrow, Adam will be in a military stronghold that will masquerade as a dormitory nursery. Is this why the children were born? To be herded together and treated like cattle? He sleeps soundly. He looks so peaceful. She couldn't love him anymore if Adam were her own son. She had always wished he had been. Lois knew that. And Diana knows that Lois will want her to guard over the boy, be his mother in spirit, if not in flesh. So innocent, and yet one toss could splinter his entire bed. One hug could kill his mother. I'm so sorry, Adam. I'm so sorry, Cal. This time tomorrow, Adam and all the other children will lose their freedom. And the worst thing is, none of them will ever know it. Mom! Adam! Save me! Why? Why can't he reach her? Why can't he save her? Why did he kill his own mother? We have to respect their fragile nature. Our powers don't make us better than they are. We must always control ourselves. It wasn't your fault she died, Adam. It's been 10 years, so now he's 15. You have to stop punishing yourself. Who are you? Someone who knows your pain and wants to help ease it. A friend. A friend. Oh, no! Ah! Again, every time the dream is the same. Every time it changes. And every time Adam gets closer to the truth. A face. He saw a man's face, and he looked so familiar. Sorry I woke you, Alex. Is everything all right? A dream. Nothing more. Are you certain it's nothing more, Princess? You're overly suspicious, Philippus. Someone has to be Diana. We stand guard over the greatest collection of weapons in the history of human civilization. We serve to raise a group of unique and gifted children. And the years that made you soft, Diana, I say that with all due respect. I know you are and have always been an ambassador of peace. And the fall and tragic, as some might see it, gave us the opportunity, indeed the mandate to create and maintain a worldwide pax. So you think, General, we should spend our lives preparing for war rather than choosing to enjoy the peace? You make it sound so dirty, old friend. Hand? Thanks. You see children, Diana. I see trouble. I see an impending age of natural rebellion and all the tension that will bring. Honestly, Philippus, even you were a teenager once. Though the thought does tend to boggle the mind, maybe I do have to get in better shape. Ha! Your Justice League have spent so many years becoming an organization of social support that you've forgotten how to feel the blood rush of battle. And you say that as if it were such a dirty thing. The majority of the planet's females or energy-based metahuman threats were attended to a decade ago. Lex Luthor disappeared before that. The old fool is dust in some lowly grave somewhere. And so, in my opinion, the only true potential threat to the planetary peace resides right here in Themyscira. Mark my vigilance and suspicious nature, Diana. But can you doubt the truth of my words? Later, that she misses Kal-El. It's taking a course through grid 14. The ring should pick it up in a second, Kim. I don't see anything yet. And listen to the two of you like they're out for a stroll in the park. This is kind of scary and all. Jill Aston was a graduate student given a research grant to study the white dwarf star belt of Ray Palmer. She subsequently discoveries about the belt turned her into the new improved Atom. You're right, Jill. If my dad could see me now, he'd be peeved at me for taking this all for granted. Okay, picked it up. Passing, it's small but fast. A projectile, missile, humanoid side. You're kidding. No one could move that fast. Never met Wally West, did ya? And it's him. No, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Forgive you for killing your mother, for killing my wife. I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry. These are nightmares he's being given. Kal-El, what? You should not blame Adam for what happened, old friend. He condemned to his tragic fate by decisions beyond his control. Mistakes made by the women running the world, and by you, Superman. You abandoned your son before he had a chance to understand the truth about his very existence. I know. I'm sorry. All of you, the male-born children of the spring, were denied a natural upbringing. You have been raised with no real understanding of man's roles in creating and defying human civilization. You've been raised by women who fear you. They have forced you to be less than you can be. You cannot define yourself by their standards. You must be given the opportunity to learn about your heritage. You deserve the right to know how society was and how it was meant to be. You must want this opportunity. Demand it. Seize it. I can make this dream a reality. Do you want to learn what it means to be a man? Yes, yes, yes. And soon, very soon, Lex Luthor will teach you how to live. What do these dreams mean? What that man is saying, we all want to listen, maybe even believe him. How long can I keep it from my Aunt Diana or Kara? I couldn't help myself, Adam. I mean, that whole moody and broody thing is just asking for abuse. There's something I've been wanting to tell you. About the dreams, you mean? You know about them? Of course I do. I have super hearing, you know. You think Alex or the others could keep their mouths shut? You can't tell anyone, Kara. Not Philippus or Diana. No one. That's Power Girl's daughter, by the way. What's the big deal? One of us is developing a new power, can't control it yet. So, no, it's more than that. But you have to promise not to tell. Promise, please. Okay, Adam, I won't tell. Speaking on behalf of the Justice League, welcome home. Thank you, Diana, all of you. It's been a long time. I've missed you. Missed Earth. I should have come home sooner. I know. But with everything happening here, it was easier, less painful to put this behind me and concentrate on the quest I have before me. Speaking of which, Cal, you never responded to our last 10 telemetry packs. I just got them days ago, Shay. I went through a black hole. I was out of touch for a while. Through a what? Over the last 14 years, I've seen so much death and so much life. There are a lot of things to talk about. Cal, it's not that I'm not interested in your activities, but might we concentrate on the fall for a moment? Of course, Kimio. I know you've been very persistent in your work. You had Luthor, Batman had Joker. I have a disease. Perhaps not for much longer. This is a vaccine against the fall that worked on a race from the Antares Nebula, but it doesn't work on me. We couldn't understand why. Let me begin processing this new data and we'll find out. Perhaps we should give Cal a chance to rest. Thank you. You have changed, Cal. She regrets the words the minute she says them. The pain in his eyes mirrors her own. Guilt, loss, sacrifice. She never thought he would ever appear so tired. Diana, tell me about Adam. Morning on faster, Kara. Yeah, you never had this much trouble sparring against Alexander before. I'm sorry, Philippus, but he's not holding back anymore. I'm a man. You're a girl. I'm bigger, stronger, and faster. Alexander Maxima, you know it is forbidden to use non-mutual meta powers during practice. Well, then your rules are stupid. What did you say? You heard me. Why should I hold back just because Kara doesn't have the same powers as me? Why should I be less than I can be, less than I am? You've done a disservice to us, Philippus. If not to all the children of the spring, then most certainly the men. A man, you call yourself? Maybe you would not say it with such pride if you knew how tainted that word truly is. You should be content to remain a boy so as to spare yourself the punishment coming your way. No, we should not be punished for speaking our minds, Philippus, although I agree Alex should have been more respectful in his approach. And be angry with him for how he voiced his opinion, but not because he has one that you disagree with. Adam, how dare you interfere with my clank? The training session is over, Philippus. You should consider changing the code of combat. They served us well when we were children, but now they're restrictive to some of us. It'll help protect yourselves from our superior skills. Was this really worth bringing me up to the island, Philippus? I'm sorry, Princess. If you don't feel full-scale insurrection is worthy of your attention, more like typical teenage rebellion, I'd say. I agree with Diana. Of course you do. But I'm amazed you're so calm when it was your daughter who was injured. She got a burn, Phil. Remember when she was 10 and broke Alex's wrist? Accidents happen. As you requested, I brought her from the dormitory. Mom, what's up? Hi, Junior. How's your arm? Fine. Just a burn. Told you so. Honey, Philippus is worried that the boys have been acting strangely. If you notice anything, I don't want them to get in trouble, Mom. And we want to help them, Junior. They've been angrier, really on edge. We all noticed it, and they've been having weird dreams, like they've been sharing the same dream. I knew it! That sounds odd, but it might be the manifestation of some new power, or worse, an indication of an outside influence intruding into their minds. If the latter, it begs the question, who? Soon. I'll let you come out and play. Soon. For now, what say we gather your playmates? Ah, Dayton, what a fool you were to wear a bubble on your head when your Mento helmet could be modified in such tasteful ways. Oh, he's always now if all my telepathic friends, robots, and aliens would be so kind to assist me. What did you say? I lobotomized you years ago, and you have no choice but to do what I ask. Ah, even better then. What say we go see the children? The day we have all waited for has come. For years you've wanted to learn what I wanted to teach you. Arise, children of the spring, Adam and Alexander, and Hidalgo and Darius, all of you, awake and yet asleep, come to me. Oh dear. Come to Papa. This is absurd. Agreed. The children have been missing for over 3 weeks, and not all of your combined resources have been able to find them. Perhaps the boys are no longer on Earth. No, Coriander, that's not possible. The watchtower is capable of registering any and all atmospheric trespasses. Cal, a moment, if I may. I must apologize for how little assistance I provide in locating the missing children, but I have achieved some exciting conclusions in my research. That's my DNA helix, and with it, an understanding of why the Antarian vaccine didn't work on you. It was designed for people with far weaker immune systems than yours. It would work right now on normal male humans, if there were any. So if we find a way to strengthen the vaccine, it will also work on me. Mankind's history is found and built on strength, physical strength, as well as strengths of character. We were a goal-oriented, success-oriented race. The planet was not intended for us to live in harmony, but rather for us to tame and master. Capitalism thrived at the societal standard because it was based on achievement. Monetary success was symbolic of personal success. Life's worth was measured by the ability to accumulate wealth. It is a sin that you have not been exposed to the very tenets that have guided our civilization for thousands of years. You have been cheated by your Amazonian upbringing, robbed of your birthright as men. This current world is an aberration, nothing but a hiccup in the way things have always been and will be once again. But the Amazons say, the world of Themyscira can certainly be lauded for their courageous struggle to segregate themselves from that which they feared. But was all blunt respect to them. And who are they to claim sovereignty over your upbringing? What do they truly know of male mind, the male passions? Not one single male had set foot on the island until you children were born, having shunned the male species for centuries. Do they
How
now
do you get so fat?
Years have passed. Do they now proclaim themselves capable of raising a new male species? Do you really believe you have been raised properly? Have the Amazons really done what is in your best interest? No, they do it for themselves, for their fears. They fear your power. They fear your strength. They fear you will reign your rightful place of dominance in this precious new world order. Even now, the Justice League is looking for you. Eventually, they will find you, and they will try to take you back to their shackling confinement of their illusionary paradise. Will you let that happen? The children roar in anger, letting loose the aggressive urges they've kept buried inside them for so long. Luthor feels their passion, a surging volcano waiting to erupt. Soon, very soon. Everything I tried in the book, even tried some old tracking maneuvers from my days as Oracle, with nothing to show for it. Who has the ability to completely match the existence of 300 Kryptonian hybrids? They sleep. They dream. It is to the point where I no longer need a telepathic amplifier to direct their thoughts. They are now willingly walking the path I've set for them. The time has come for them to confront their destiny. Where did that come from? Like someone suddenly flicked a light switch. And look where they've been hiding for the last 2 months. This is the Lantern. I found them. Priority 1 alert. So they're all heading over there to confront them. The Justice League, come to take your freedom away. Do not let them do that again. At all costs, stop them. This is not good. They're children, JLA. Our children. There will be no violence this day. Do you hear me? There will be no fighting. There is no reason for us to be in opposition. No reason, Diana. Look at yourselves and look at us. Our very existence, our very beings are in opposition, both physically and emotionally. Where is this venom coming from? This is so antithetical to the teaching of the Themyscira. It's supposed to be, you stupid cow! Alexander, their spirits have been tainted, darkened by what? Their nature. Donna's face. I'm sorry, Dana, but there's no other way. Anyone remember any of our strategic battle codes? Of course, fire. Why? Figured at least we'd sounded good while we were getting annihilated. They weren't prepared for this mentally or physically. It's been years since they participated in full-scale combat, and they're naturally holding back, emotionally unable to accept that indeed this is war. Adam watches, resigned, and resigned sadness in his eyes. A part of him, small but screaming to be heard, knows this is wrong, but he can't open his mouth to tell his brother to stop. Can't or won't. Is it freedom they're expressing, or just a different kind of enslavement? We can take some of them down if we cut loose, Barbara, but not enough to make a difference, Linda, and not at the risk of critically injuring them or our teammates. Green Lantern, Superwoman fall, and Starfire, and Hawk, all of them, until the last one standing becomes nothing more or less heroic than the last one to fall. What a pleasure it is to see you after so very long, Diana. That voice, it can't be. Of course it is. Who else? Unconscious. You've taken so much from me, princess, even rob me of my right to gloat. Seems selfish, but your kind have always been unwilling to sacrifice. Indeed, women have always clamored for equality without actually striving to earn it, and you've tried to poison the first new generation of males against the very notion of hard work. It ends now, boys. The Justice League was only the first impediment against restoring our rightful way of life. The word is ours, yours, children, if the Amazon Paradise Island can be overthrown. So yeah, they head on over there. To arms, fight to the death. They are no longer our children. They are men. She spits the word like bile. They hear the venom in her voice, the bitterness of expected betrayal. Everything Mr. Luthor said was right. Luthor, Alexander, what is he and he to do was by Minerva? Pray to your false god, Philippus, for all the good it'll do you. You've waited for so long for the chance to run the world your way, but you had your chance, and as short as it was, it's time for things to go back to the way they've always been. Oh, Philippus, Alex, you did exactly what I had to do, Adam. This is wrong, says the whispered voice in Adam's head, growing louder with each Amazon who falls. But seeing them fall, hearing their shouts of pain, and testing the electric buzz of his full power so finally released, it all feels right. His confusion leaves him open to, how could you be doing this? Adam, this is crazy. Look around you. This is your home. We're your family. I love you. Was that all a lie? Kara, no, it wasn't a lie. I love you too, little sister. But the way of the Amazons is not right for us. Not fair to us. How? Explain it to me. I want to understand. Maybe we could find a way to stop all this Slam! Don't waste time talking. That's what they all want to do. Talk you to death. Alex, don't kill her. Don't worry, Adam. I won't. After all, when this day is done, we'll need them around to do cooking and cleaning. Sources indicate Themyscira is under the control of the rebellion, all of them. God help them. Rise and shine, princess. I'm that way too before I've had my morning coffee. Would you be a dear and fetch me a cup? Of course, feel free to pour yourself one too. Oh, you can't? Hands are tied up at the moment. Perhaps one of the other gals could. For shame, they're otherwise occupied as well. Well, the coffee can wait. Let's get the coronation out of the way first. Oh, jeez. What have you truly accomplished, Luthor, this day, Luthor? It will take generations for you to balance the ratio of men to women. Until then, do you expect to rule the entire world by yourself? I have my proteges. They'll soon learn they've been duped. They will come to know the kind of man you really are. And on that day, they will turn on you. Perhaps she's right. What do you think, Adam? I'm not sure. Not exactly the impassioned oath of allegiance I had hoped for. Indeed, Princess, you might very well be right. Lucky for me, I took that into account when formulating my plan. And while hiding away for the last decade from your prying eyes, I wandered through to a certain city, uncovering a certain cave formerly owned by a certain billionaire who possessed a fetish for black lizard, a certain little rock called kryptonite. He watches them scream in agony, far greater than it should be from one small sample of the poisonous fruit of his homeworld. And he realizes as hybrid, they only have half of its invulnerability. And if kryptonite is capable of killing him, it will do the same to them, only faster. He can't wait any longer. Can't watch them die. Can't watch his son die. But he can't go down to Earth without risking the life of every woman and child there. The dosages of the original vaccine still course through his system. Maybe that would be enough. To expose them all to the fall could lead to their death. To do nothing would ensure their death. He has to decide. Now, with Superman's children disposed of, the world will finally have the chance to thrive. In my image! 3 seconds above Earth's atmosphere. 2 seconds above Themyscira. He was flying so fast the impact occurs before the sound catches up. Troom! Luthor! No, not now. Once and for all. Do you realize the danger your very presence poses here? You have the nerve to ask me that question? It's a threat I pose any worse than the threat you are? Death by the fall and life under your booted heel? What's the difference? My booted, you dare give me being a demagogue? My goal is to save this doomed planet, to breathe renewed life into a civilization that began an inexorable march to ruination the day your kind set foot on it. You maniac, your weapons are cutting open my armor. You'll expose everyone here to the fall. Indeed, and also expose you to the kryptonite. Drown in it! Die from it! A shame, really. Gone for so long, only to return to this. Father, ironic, while exposing you to the painful flames of radiation poisoning, you're exposing all of them to a rather similar death from the fall. Then why does it feel so different? He's faced kryptonite before. It burned him from the inside out. But this is odd. Like fire from the outside in. Different side of the same coin, but death nonetheless. He wonders for something more. Adam, all of you, do something. He's killing your father. Father? He has no right to that and to claim that. He chose to abandon him, and you damnable women never gave me the chance. Liar! My father did not abandon me. He had no choice. He left to save my life, to save all of our lives. He knows the truth, Luthor. They've seen through the veil of deceit you blinded them with. Father, I'm sorry. Adam, kryptonite's killing him. But then why do I feel stronger? They spent so much time trying to strengthen the vaccine when all they had to do was weaken his immune system. My helmet and breathing real air. Stay back. Keep your diseased hands off me. You still have the kryptonite, Luthor. So as much as I want to throttle your neck, I'll have to ask for a little help from my friends. It's over. But without the kryptonite, how will I keep him back? He'll touch me with his plague, poison me. I cannot be allowed to die like some commoner. I am Lex. But who will raise the children? Luthor? He had a heart attack. His armor is giving him medical attention, pumping and bending nitroglycerin and more into him. He's stable. He'll live. We can take some solace that his remaining days will be spent in prison, right, Cal? Cal? Oh, Dad? Adam, you have your mother's eyes. Be careful with them. They've endured years of torture. Cal, nice to see you in the blue and red again. Nice to be wearing it. How's the dismantling of Luthor's telepathic amplifier going? As well as, and can be expected, most will recover, but sadly, some have been deeply traumatized. The good news is the children of the spring will bear no permanent scarring. The amplifier was more coercive in nature than intrusive. And what of Luthor himself? He's lost control of his motor and speech functioning, but his mind remains whole, aware of his condition. Tragically, yes. Good. We have to address the fact that Luthor didn't brainwash the kid. He only exasperates thoughts they already had. Once we're done here, Kara, I'll be spending all my time catching up with them, boys and girls. Well, you better find a way to add a few hours to your day. Look at the little surprise Luthor left behind. Oh, his dying words. Who will raise the children? I thought he meant the children of the spring. There must be 100 babies here, all fed and nurtured by machines. Where are the mothers? And are they all Luthor's children? His plan was to use your children to conquer the world and get rid of them so that he could remake the world in his own image. They are human boys, unaffected by the fall, and forever safe now that we know the vaccine works. I wonder if Luthor would appreciate the irony. How so? Then he tried to subvert your children, Cal. Tried to be a father to them. He hated how the Amazon had raised them. And now we all have the chance to make amends for the mistake I made and the tragic circumstances you endured by raising his children. I don't think he'd appreciate the irony one bit. What do we do now, Diana? We change diapers, Cal. We change a lot of diapers. So, how was that?
That one wasn't for me.
It was weird, wasn't it?
Hey, yeah, the whole thing was. The faces are funny.
But okay, forget the artwork. From the story perspective, a lot of potential wasted. A lot of wasted potential.
I think it went a few different directions and then ended nowhere.
And it went very, and it's funny, it avoided the anti-male rhetoric. I mean, it was there for a little bit, but it was more about surviving until Lex got involved. Then it became all anti-male, or just male, very masochistic. You know what I mean?
I was just overwhelmed by the sheer amount of Mr. Cleans on my screen for a little bit.
but again, no, from a story standpoint, again, great potential, horrible execution. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think it was a good premise. It just wasn't a good delivery at all.
I thought the first book was the first half was better than the second half.
Yeah.
The first half was very good, but then once we saw it all played out, we're like, we don't even know any of these other kids, and some of them, shouldn't they have different abilities because they had different mothers?
You think so? I don't know.
We focus on Kara, Adam, and Alex. That's all we focus on.
But
and they all just have the Superman powers.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know. That's weird to me too.
I know. I mean, now Lois dying from a hug. It's sad, but that would happen.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing. It's a hell of a fiber. But then that makes you wonder, how did she have Clark's kid to begin with? If his toddler
because he didn't have the powers developed. That's the one thing I remember about post-Christ Superman. He didn't have his powers at birth. He didn't have his powers immediate. He gained his powers over time.
But this is adult Superman knocking up Lois.
No, I know. I get that. But he and Lois, post-crisis Superman and Lois have had sex before.
Hmm.
They've had sex many times. So the idea, and we know with John Kent it's possible.
I'm just saying Lois should have been dead a long time ago.
Well, to be fair, there was one story that showed that happening where she was pregnant, but the kid kicked so hard in her it killed her and the baby.
I was hoping the baby would kick hard and kill him.
Well, okay. But again, overall, though, I mean, again, I did like I said, I did like how it didn't revel in the anti-male stuff in the first book. Unless Lex was involved. That's the one thing. At least it was all reserved just for Lex, which, let's be honest, he's always been a sexist. Always. All versions of Lex have been a sexist. So it makes sense for him to, like, if he's the last surviving Earth human, it makes sense for him to just revel in it.
Yeah.
But did you know, it took until Philippus started mentioning, because you're a man, is where that was the first time we had that. So at least it lasted a good while before we got into anti-male.
Give me 5 seconds, Robert. I got to toggle my audio filter.
Go ahead.
All right, that's good. Sorry.
No, it's no worries.
Does that happen to anybody else on StreamYard?
Not that I'm aware of. No, but you sounded fine to me. That's the weird thing. You sounded fine to me on my end.
So apparently I'll sound fine to you, but your voice will start cracking the audio on from your end, it just cracks and breaks up. So I have to
I think it could be an internet connection too.
I'm only on data.
Oh, that could be it, because I've had that before when I do it through data.
Okay, then that's the problem. But
overall though, yeah, this wasn't that good. It wasn't crap. Again, there was good. It was just wasted potential. And
yeah, I know it was a wasted premise. The first half, the whole idea of Superman attracting the cause of
he contained the disease still.
Yeah, like you said, just a premise that needed. How many writers were on? Like how many people?
One writer on this.
It was only one. I think he needed a second writer.
Agree. Yeah. Maybe a woman even.
Well, it's anybody. If he had said, "I got a good first half," I have a good first half, but a different second half. And somebody should have taken over the second half.
Yeah, because again, a lot of the premise. Wait, let me double check. Actually, yep, just one writer. Fabian Nicieza, a very good writer.
Yeah, thought it was kind of all over the place. I don't know. I don't know what kind of fan you got to be to really like that.
I agree. I mean, it was very much like. Well, I would say this though. It did feel like it could have. It avoided the why the last man saw, probably because it had the female heroes there who could keep the balance and everything. Yeah, I mean, I did like that idea how it was less about women are now in control and more of a case of we're the only ones left. I mean, they would take some pot shots, yes, but it didn't go overboard with it, is what I meant to say.
Oh, the humor's fine. I took it as humor. I didn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I must talk to man. Again, I just still love that one joke. I gotta talk to mankind. Now that he knows, let's go talk to the women. I'm like, that's a dark humor. That's a dark joke. Especially for Wonder Woman, but again,
that one seemed like something a lot of people would just pass up.
You're right. But again, overall, I'd give this a 5 out of 10 if I had to rate it. It's not shit. It's definitely not shit. I've read worse. Hell, wait until I go over JLA Act of God. I went over with Steph Nerd and Foxy Doxy. That one was bad. This was dull. This was more dull and predictable once we got to the second half.
I just didn't. Like I said, I just didn't think it was a good story.
Yeah. Again, like I said, the problem was the kids were just tools. That's all they were just tools for the story. Because again, they're just generic, all with Kryptonian abilities. It's like, okay, Power Girl, I can understand Kara being that way. The fact that she's the only girl, it looks like, we don't see any other daughters. And then it's like, but wait, also what about like if Starfire had one of the kids, why did they just look like a white, cis white Kryptonian and don't look anything like her people?
But that's also what happens when you get a lot of different characters on it. That's why I hate supergroups. Or even I didn't even really like X-Men after a while. In the case of X-Men, you have too many mutants, too many.
Well, that's why they brought it down at first. Well, that's why they brought it down to 198 at one time. Remember?
What's up?
After House of M, they said no more mutants, and they brought down the number to 198.
To one, from what?
Oh, from thousands.
But see, they reduced it dramatically, and it's still.
But then again, though, it also meant taking out a bunch of well-regarded and well-known mutants, and even then, they already started giving them their powers back as it went through. Magneto and Xavier got their powers back, lickety-split. Well, Jubilee had to become a vampire, and then eventually got returned to humanity and got her powers back.
What was the point?
Well, first of all, they still kept it to a bare minimum, at least. In the case of Jubilee, it was because they wanted to bring her back and stop the vampire stuff, which lasted a good couple of years, and actually was well handled. It wasn't a case where they made her a vampire and then they dropped off the face of the earth. Yeah, but like I said, though, here again, there was a lot of potential, but it just felt so dull, boring.
Yeah, I think when artists put too many characters in the same project all at once, I think that's a passive way of saying they don't know what they're doing.
Well, to be fair, you kill off all the men. What are you going to do? You have all the female heroes then left. So, of course, and they're the only ones who are left to do anything.
Mm.
But again, it felt, like I said, after that like, we both are in agreement. Some quibble aside, the first part was good. But the second part just became too much about Lex wanting to make it his version of the male-dominated society, manipulating the kids, all that stuff. And I'm sorry, they should have realized, I think they should have all realized, we have to weaken Superman to make the vaccine work for him. That should have been obvious. Why did it take Lex having to expose him to kryptonite for him, and it actually happened for him to actually, realize, oh, right.
That part I don't specifically remember.
Yeah, it was at the end. Lex had weakened him thanks to the kryptonite and thus allowing the vaccine to take hold.
All right.
Because the reason why it wasn't working was because they kept saying we have to strengthen the vaccine. Why don't you just weaken your immunity? Isn't that the most obvious?
I don't know.
Again, like I said, I mean, if you were to give a rating, what would you give this?
I give it a solid. I think it's a good. A good start and a bad ending means it sucks. Yeah, it's like the last Star Wars. I actually, for the most part, I was actually enjoying the last Star Wars trilogy, but the last movie ended so bad. I hate the whole 7 hours of movie.
Right, understandable. Let's be honest though, it was all a massive course correct and a final movie. That was the problem with that.
I don't know, but wasn't Abrams, JJ Abrams.
Oh yeah, but here's the deal. Abrams was not meant to come back for that. He had to because unfortunately they did not want the script that the other guy, Colin Trevorrow, the guy who did Jurassic World, was doing. It looks like it was going to be a good script and everything. But unfortunately, it would have also been I hate to say it, it would have gone the agenda route that they wanted.
My thing is Abrams has never been good with endings. I can't think of anything.
Agree. Completely agree with that. Well, no. What about Mission Impossible 3?
I didn't see that one.
That's the one that people say course corrected the whole franchise.
All the Mission Impossible movies are basically the same to me. Plus, I hate Tom Cruise. So
fair enough. Okay, but I can agree with you, though. I can agree with you on that. Although, I say the first Star Trek movie had a good ending. Not In the Darkness, but the first one did.
Well, look at Cloverfield. That was another one. That was...
Cloverfield ended on an open note. And remember, he only produced that one. He didn't direct it.
Oh, well, for some reason, he's always part of the project.
Matt Reeves directed that one.
Okay, then my mistake. But either way, for some reason, he's part of projects that don't have good endings.
I would still argue that there are still some, like Super 8.
Super 8. Super 8 frustrated me because I missed the part where they explained that the aliens communicate telekinetically.
Telepathically.
So I didn't actually know what was going on when the movie ended.
You mean telepathically?
Telepathic, excuse me. What did I say?
Telekinetic.
Yeah. Telepathically, yes. I missed that part for some reason because I had to make food for somebody. So
right. Well, hey, he also wrote Armageddon.
Nah, there was just nothing like Armageddon on big screen yet.
Yep. He also is producing. He's also produced the Cloverfield sequels and the Mission Impossible other movies after his.
What else is his fault?
I'm not sure exactly. He also worked on Fringe and Alias and Lost. And Facility.
Yeah, a lot of people hated how Lost ended because they felt like it just ended on a cliffhanger.
Okay, well, what about Alias or Facility or Felicity?
Felicity, I didn't like Felicity.
Well, again, what about Alias?
What was that one about? This sounds familiar.
That was the Jennifer Garner. She was a spy and all that, the double agent.
No, I don't think I finished it. I think it started.
What about Fringe?
The series, right? Yeah, that series was Fox. That was good too.
Yeah, he worked
but that was good. But here's the thing, Fringe, because Fox, especially at that time, was well known for putting their very good shows at a bad time slot, and they were known for neglecting. Like there was a list, or you probably still find the list online somewhere. It's a long list of shows that were on Fox on Fridays. They all tanked, and they actually had a decent sized audience, but Fox just basically neglected them.
Fox did that all the time. Look at Firefly.
No, I didn't care. I don't like Firefly. I like Joss Whedon, so I just don't care.
Fair enough. But like I said, anyway.
But Fringe,
like I said, right. But again, so overall though, this, like I said, that's why I give it a 5. 5 for the first half. But the second half,
yeah, like I said, good premise, bad delivery, bad ending.
Bad ending, yes. Especially again, and the fact that again, Lex was just good choice for the villain. Very good choice. Who else could be able to survive that and figure all this stuff out? But
of course, it had
and I gotta be honest, his end game made sense. You manipulate the Kryptonian kids, kill them all off, and then replace humanity with his kids. Again, that makes sense from Lex's point, for Lex.
Yeah, what? Here's the thing. I feel like that could have been a better premise on its own. The second half, if that were the start of something else, that could have grown into something with a completely different conclusion.
I think he needed one more book. I think the problem was it was 2 books and not 3.
Then maybe that's it.
I think that's the problem. They needed more breathing room. This was one that needed a 3-book, not a 2-book.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. If they had not taken it a little bit further, maybe they could have done something else with it.
Exactly, but again, because that's why they had to force in Lex's plan and getting the cure all in the one thing. Heck, you could have had Lex take over the world in the second one, and then have Superman show up with the cure in the third one. And lead to and I'll try to do that. Maybe it would be that Lex kills most of the kids, but not all of them. You could have done that.
Or the kids destroy the cure. And the kids take over.
That could have been possible. Or they kill Lex and they take over.
Yeah. Destroy the cure, kill Lex, take over.
Well, to be fair though, destroying the cure would also mean they would be at risk still.
What if they find they don't need it?
Well, that's true too. Well, you're right. They don't really technically need it. But again, we're going in circles over the same point. So yeah, that was JLA Created Equal. Thank you for joining me on this one, Joseph, and thank you guys for putting up with all this. We'll see you all in the next one. Take care.